Hello YouTube and welcome to another moto vlog, coming at you live from Sterling, Virginia, as usual, sitting up in my computer room here, trying to get my audio and video set up just a little better for y'all and for myself, since I think the audio on these videos is quite important. I would like to make it not terrible. Of course, maybe muting my cell phone would be nice. That would probably be nice. Alright. So I gotta make the window big so I can see what I'm doing. Using DaVinci Resolve again. Still a little confused by how to do things properly in this. That's okay. It's not like I knew what I was doing in Premiere Pro either. So right off the bat, you might notice that I accidentally... Oh no, I turned off stabilization, so that's pretty good. It looks fine now. It was looking weird when I was looking at it before and I thought I left stabilization on. But I did not. Okay. Yeah, it's shaking around like it should. Awesome. I'm recording in, I think, 1440p, 30 FPS, Super View. I use like Pro Tune and then like minus 1/3 of a stop exposure. Don't have any ND filters, which is kind of a shame, but it works really well on a day like today where it's cloudy and the dynamic range is nice and low. So hopefully we'll have some decent video and some decent audio for you. I think the ride itself was quite uneventful, which is nice. I like to have boring, uneventful rides. I know that's kind of funny, but it's just nice. I want to see the scenery. I want to maybe ride around, use the throttle and the brakes a little bit, lean over a little bit, you know, but at the end of the day, I'm not trying to go crazy. It's not a track. And I'm not that great of a rider, so. We're up here in, I think, Oxon Hill, Maryland now, or whatever, by the MGM. You saw us crossing the bridge, coming over from Virginia. We're headed to Solomon's, Maryland, Solomon's Island, I guess they call it, although I don't really understand why. It's not an island. It doesn't matter. So we're going to take the back way, so you'll see pretty much the whole ride from as we were crossing over the bridge until we get there. Really all I cut out was when we're stopped. So anytime we're rolling down the road, minus maybe like 1 minute that you'll see in a second, we're recording, so there we go. And I didn't do the ride home, it's just a ride down. I actually don't know how long this video is going to be, because with DaVinci Resolve, I don't know how to change the time codes to have it show me, whatever, it doesn't matter. I think maybe it's be a little more than an hour and 15 maybe. Oh yeah, this guy's pulling off. I have zero script. It's like super early in the morning. I'm off work, PTO. I like couldn't sleep. Yeah, it's like 5:50 in the morning right now on a Wednesday morning. Hopefully I get this thing out on Wednesday. God, I'm kind of struggling. I did all my clips and clipped everything up and then realized I put all the clips in like multiple times because I was like doing everything twice because I didn't understand what I was doing, so I had to redo everything rather than try to clean it up, which would have been a nightmare. Just did everything from scratch a second time, learn some more stuff. Fighting with the audio recording, oh my gosh, that took like 30 minutes at least for me to figure out what the heck was going on with all that. I had to restart the program multiple times. Anyways, I'm just ranting. That's just how it works with this stuff. I mean, I'm a completely, amateur producer of this crappy, home video style YouTube stuff. But it still takes quite a bit of effort just to get to this point. So that's something to keep in mind. You see a lot of really slick YouTube videos out now, and it's quite impressive. But at the same time, you have to understand there is a lot of work, manual labor going into that, so to speak. I definitely know you can get better once you get used to it and understand all the functionality of the program, keyboard shortcuts, but even still, that's just like the baseline, I think, to even begin to make good videos, which I'm not trying to do. Field of view here is pretty good. Let's see, but the riding conditions, you can see the roads are kind of wet. Well, damp would be the right word. No standing water, but a little more slick, a little cold. I think I am in rain mode. I think I'm in rain mode for like this entire ride. I feel like I have a hard break from a lot of more experienced riders that I see on YouTube. A lot of guys always say, I never use rain mode. it's too slow and this and that. And I kind of see where they're coming from. It's like a very significant reduction in power. It's pretty smooth though. Like you just kind of twist the throttle a little more when you need more power than you normally would. And I never really like. I know I'm not going to use 100% power on this ride down here. Like it's wet and like group ride. We're all just doing touring motorcycle stuff. So here I'll cut a minute out here. We're just going to pull in and then I'll show us when we're back up turning onto, I think that's Indian Head Highway. Maybe it's not. I don't really know my Maryland. Whatever we're turning right onto here.
That's the one thing I like about my horn. If you just kind of tap it, it doesn't go off.
Oh yeah, we're talking about the horn. Tap it and it doesn't go off. Well, if you hold it, it doesn't go off either because it got hooked up backwards. Second time that's happened. Aftermarket horn. I blame whoever made the horn more than the shop at this point, because it was two different shops, two different certified BMW shops have now hooked my horn up wrong. So that's pretty funny. Now that I think about it, I gotta fix that or get it fixed. I like never use my horn, but like if you ever do need it, like it's kind of something you need, At least the way I use it. Make a left here. We're gonna kind of pause. So once we make this left, this is gonna take us off the main road. As you saw, we really didn't go down it that far. As soon as we got off 495, we're pretty much.
So this adds about 1 hour to how long this would normally take.
Yeah, and that's what I'm explaining now. I'd like add an hour to it. We're just talking about nonsense. I think about. We didn't understand. I don't know. We had different terminology for like different types of roads.
We don't have great terminology.
Yeah, I'm saying it there. Like divided highways, like I consider that like a divided highway or a boulevard, which is kind of like a slow divided highway. 2-lane country roads. I don't even know. I don't even know what kind of terminology to use. It's actually kind of hard to describe. Like, what would you call a road like this, right? Like a country road, but we're not really in the country. We're like right outside the city. There's intersections everywhere. Look at all these cars, etc. But it is kind of a country road. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it too much. I'm being stupid. I honestly don't know the words. I should probably look it up. It'd be nice because it's like a failure of language, right? Because I can't communicate easily what I'm talking about to somebody. Because I like to say that those like divided highways, like the road we were on previously, where it's a fast road with a median or not, but it's like a faster road, 45 miles an hour and up, or even 55 and up. And there's a lot of like cross traffic, and then 2 lanes on each side at minimum.
Jesus, take the handlebars.
Those types of roads definitely concern me the most, because that's where you'll see the notorious like left turn. I think you'll also see that here on these more country roads as well, or people coming up on intersections like that and say that guy just pulled out to make a left without stopping, and then I struck him with my motorcycle. Bummer. Horn ain't gonna save you in that situation. I'm not trying to be a bummer. It's just those are what are gonna get you, in my opinion. So it looks like we're gonna turn left here. I like the quality here. I'm hoping YouTube will make. I don't know. I'm thinking what I might do is, because in DaVinci Resolve it seems like 1440p is not an output option you can choose, unless I'm missing something, which I probably am. So I'm either going to look up how to do 1440p output, or I might try to cheat the system and upscale this to 4K, generate just some gigantic output file, set it to 4K maximum bitrate that YouTube supports 4K at. Screw it, upload it like that. Maybe it'll look pretty nice. I don't know, because I see that a lot of people upload really nice looking YouTube videos, right? The bigger channels. I don't necessarily think it's that YouTube gives you more of a bitrate when you're paid, although that is true. I don't think so. I don't think my videos will ever look that good, but it depends on the resolution as well. Like, I can't upload a 1080p video and have it play back at the same bit rate as a 4K video. I don't know if that makes any sense, but basically, like, the bit rate we should have for 1080p is the bit rate they have for 4K. They compress the absolute shit out of the content you upload. So maybe if I try to game the system by uploading at a higher resolution, it'll work. It'll look okay. Do some convoluted BS. I'm sorry, guys, if you're still listening. I mean, I wish I had an interesting topic or something. It's been pretty chill. I've been continuing on with my weight loss, so to speak. I've been pretty consistent. About 180 pounds or so, maybe a little less. I've been purposefully eating a little more than I thought I would need to lately. Maybe I'm gaining weight. It's really hard to say. If I'm gaining weight, it's very slow, so I would probably need to now pare back, if anything, a little bit, which I'm trying to do. I don't know. It's confusing to me. As weird as it sounds, like it is easiest when eating. Maybe when you're someone like me who kind of has a problem with food, addiction in general, impulsive behavior in general, that kind of thing. It's easier to just go crazy, gain a bunch of weight, or go crazy and don't eat a lot. It's almost just like taking the shotgun approach, or just like the hammer approach to like a delicate situation, where I should be mindful about what I'm doing and eating sustainably and blah blah blah. That's so hard. I don't know. I don't understand really. I think how to do it. Because I do want to enjoy myself, and there's definitely this thing with food and addiction with me, for sure, where I don't know how to explain it. Like, once I start eating, like, you know, delicious food and high calorie dense food and stuff, it's hard to stop, right? You want to keep going, and then you start getting, obviously, like the hormonal effect with the ghrelin and the hunger because of your insulin going up and down. So now you're feeling hungry and you're wondering to yourself, like, am I hungry because I feel like I'm already in a calorie surplus for today, but maybe I'm not. Like, I'm questioning myself. And then maybe I mix a beer in there, which I never really quit drinking for more than like a month or so. I mean, I definitely have something going on with alcohol dependence, but yeah, it's a bummer. Whatever. I'm drinking, like, I've literally been able to, I'd say, cut 90% of my drinking out. I drink 90% less, which is pretty cool. Hopefully I can keep it that way. That's a big reason that I lost a lot of weight, was cutting the calories out there. But lately, yeah, I've literally been trying to eat a little more, exercise more. I have a hard time with the upper body stuff. I'm not really sure how to train my upper body so well, so I'm mostly just focusing on lower body cardio, walking, running, that kind of stuff. Hiking up and down hills, East Coast, you know, mountains. Nothing like the West Coast, but, you know, little foothills, things like that. So that's been pretty nice. I'm definitely, I don't know if I'm as strong as I was back in 2016 before I got in my accident. I'm pretty close, I would say. I would say maybe I am, to be honest, because I've been pushing pretty hard, but I don't know. I was pushing pretty hard back then as well. I was also lighter. I think I was more like, well, I don't know, to be honest. I can't remember. I was weighing myself, but I was weighing myself like after I worked out in the middle of the day. So that was a little different. And I can't remember exactly what I weighed, but I think it was like 175. So I definitely was lighter, maybe 10 pounds lighter than I am now. That's not a huge difference, though, at all. Yeah, but I guess my goal, if I had anything, would be just keep going with the cardio. I'm pretty happy with my cardio state. I don't need to be amazing. I don't need to be able to run miles and miles, at least not right now. I'd like to get some upper body stuff going, especially just something that can help me with my posture and whatnot. I don't need to be like super strong or anything, but I need to find something I can do. Like, I don't want to have to go to the gym or anything, but at the same time, maybe I do need to do that. Come up with a routine. It's hard for me. I don't like routine. I like just screwing around and being stupid. I'm like the anti-Jordan Peterson. I thrive off of chaos and waking up and not knowing what I'm going to do, and maybe having a little bit of uncertainty or fear almost sometimes. That's okay. I like that. It's calming in a sense to know that, like, to kind of just embrace the fact that there is sort of a level of fate involved in our lives. wouldn't say like it's not like a storybook or anything, but you know, I mean, there's a lot of events that are straight up out of our control, and even if you're in the right place at the right time, whatever. And I like just embrace that. It's comforting rather than trying to like again have full control over your life all the time. That must be very exhausting. It can be because I do it sometimes. It's exhausting. I like these roads. You can see I'm taking it easy. These I don't really know any of the roads. I don't know the area. I've never really been out here before. I do recall a very strong police presence. I don't know if we've started to run into those police yet, but I definitely recall coming across probably 3 speed traps, 2 or 3, straight up like, yeah, we got radared speed traps. And then a number of other police officers that may have been doing traffic enforcement or not. It was hard to say. So that was good. Glad I wasn't speeding too much. I've had too many tickets, too much BS. It's nice to just calm down, you know, and no matter how good at riding you are, it's easy to get distracted, and it's easy to, like, zone out. If that's not distraction, I don't know. But it's easy to not, you know, look where you need to look, pay attention to what you need to pay attention to. Maybe for a second or two here or there on an hours-long ride, right? But it's those seconds here or there. That's what's going to get you killed, unfortunately. Every car, I just think back, like, I've been in some car accidents that were my fault. Nothing major, but some fender benders here and there. And every single time, it was a result of me not being present, like, and mindful, focused about what I'm doing. And that was driving, not even riding. In fact, I have had a pretty close call riding because of that. When I really zoned out, I almost fell asleep on the bike after being on the bike for almost an entire tank of gas and just doing a bunch of gravel and dirt and everything. And I finally got on the highway, and I'm like, let's just get home and I'll fill up, you know, tomorrow. But what I really needed to have done was stop right at that point, or hell, even an hour before that point. But man, anyway, I got away with that somehow, lucky enough. I think there's been people in that situation who have not gotten away with it, you know, and maybe had like fatalities and stuff. Anyways, this has been a depressing recording, guys. I'm not depressed, I'll say that. I feel pretty good. I just that's always my mind, right? Like the metalhead in me is always going for the morbid topics, maybe finding comfort in sadness, or I don't even know if I'd call it sadness, just in, again, like the totality of things. It's nice, especially maybe with the winter in this kind of I wouldn't call it bleak, but you know, this kind of gray and very low contrast skies and roads and everything. I guess as well with the no leaves on the trees the whole winter. It's like the winter look, but no snow, no ice. That boring winter ride. But you guys know, if you've been watching me for a while or are friends with me, of course I love the winter. This is like my favorite time of year. This is it. This is like, for me, one of the better rides I've ever had. Oh, that person's just walking there. I don't think I noticed that when I was riding. Just because, yeah, the temperature was great. It was windy, which was not the best, but it was exciting. At least add some excitement to things, and the route was nice. I threw this together using, you know, Garmin Basecamp. Got to fight with Basecamp, but when you win the battle, it's nice. You come up with a pretty good route. It's taken me years to understand Basecamp. I'm not even kidding, years. It's taken me years of using it to come to some level of real understanding of how to make it work the way I want it to. Oh man, yeah, I'm coughing a lot. I had the flu like a week before this, and yeah, that went away. Everything was cool. I just had a bit of a cough. Like, I could tell. It wasn't even like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just like my throat and everything, because I smoke a little bit, you know, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah, even if you're just saying like years ago. That makes sense.
I feel like I shouldn't have said that. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, fair enough.
Everything I say is a lie on this channel. There you go. Insurance adjusters. And I know I'm being paranoid. That is who I am. Like, I don't get it. I could probably change that about myself. Do I want to? I don't know. If you want to change your personality, you totally can do it. It's not like you flip a switch. But if you're like, well, there's this certain aspect that I have about myself and I don't like it. Well, if you don't like it enough and you're really dedicated, you can definitely, force yourself to behave differently. And if you do that long enough, I promise you, your brain, the connections in your brain will change, and you will literally change your personality over, years of forcing yourself to behave differently. Is that a good thing? I don't know. Probably not. I think in some cases it can be, but I think for the most part, it's probably something everyone knows you should avoid. I felt bad. It's funny, with the whole COVID thing, right? If you have any kind of a cough, everyone's like, oh my God. I definitely was wearing a mask, and I still do.
It's a phobia.
Even though I don't have to wear a mask, right? So I had a bit of a cough, so I'm thinking, I'm just going to wear a mask everywhere. It's pretty nice, actually. I hope after COVID goes away, people start doing that, because, it's the reality of life, right? Like, okay, you got a bit of a cough, or maybe you even know you have a cold or the flu or whatever going on. Well, life goes on, right? You can't just stay home. Maybe you can't get, curbside pickup because you don't have the $25 minimum, or you know what I mean? Maybe you need to go places. So it's like, throw the mask on, man. Like, you're sick. It's just polite, So hopefully that kind of catches on. I kind of have a feeling it won't. Like, this whole thing, everyone's going to be, looking at you funny, but that's okay. I don't know. Just knocked my mouse off the thing here. We're far enough in. I can put my mouse back on the table and make noise, ruin my audio here, whatever. What I'm really missing, I think, in terms of AV equipment right now is definitely, stands and lights and stuff. I have everything I need where I could pretty easily do a vlog setup where I may be making a reaction style video to my riding, because that's pretty close to what I'm doing right now, wouldn't you say? I've been doing this for a long time, obviously, but you see a lot of guys doing this now, guys, girls, whatever, YouTubers, Twitch streamers. They just watch videos on YouTube and react to them, right? And as weird as it is, that's kind of what I've been doing this whole time with my own videos. It's just, I'm not watching YouTube, right? I'm kind of just watching my own video, and you're not really looking at me, of course, you're just listening. So does putting me in the video, my face, would that make it better? Because I could just I could totally set some stuff up. If I spent, some money, get some stands, maybe a table, set it up, maybe I'm standing, doing some standing. You could have my face in the corner. I don't think that really adds anything. Now that I say that, I don't see that adding anything to this. So this is my face. You've all seen me. I don't think you've seen skinny me unless you've seen me in real life or on other social media, which I won't even mention. I mean, if anyone wanted to figure out my real name and address from the information given here, I would not be hard. A little bit of, peeking around. I guess you could call it hacking. I would call it Google searching and peeking around a little bit at things, and you'd figure everything out pretty quick. That's okay. I haven't said anything too controversial, whatever. I'm not running for office. Again, that paranoid aspect to myself, it's just something I can't get away from. It's like self-deprecating humor, like a defense mechanism or something. Well, I guess that's what paranoia is in the end, so that makes sense. I love my armchair psychology, and I'm not even a first-year psychology student or whatever that joke is. I've never taken a psychology class, even though I have a college degree. I stayed away from it. I took art history and music history and stuff like that instead. Because I don't know, I always heard that trope about just a little bit about it, so you think you know everything. I was just, I'll stay away. I just won't learn anything about it then instead. I've been to some psychiatrists and some psychologists and stuff. I think I've even said on the channel, like, I've literally ridden my GS, this bike, to a psychiatrist and a therapist before. So, like, LOL. Do I do that or not? I'd rather not say if I'm still doing stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I've definitely said it before. I think riding as like a cure for depression is not there. I just don't. I don't believe that's a good idea. And honestly, I think if you feel depressed, you shouldn't ride a motorcycle. I know that sounds really harsh, but like, I think that's too harsh, actually. It's not that if you feel depressed, you shouldn't ride. You need to feel okay. Like, even if you're depressed, depression's like a long-term thing. Depression's not feeling sad. Depression is like a consistent feeling of, like, you know, sadness, depressive thoughts for like weeks, months at a time, years at a time. So yeah, if you're sad every day for weeks, maybe one day you're feeling sad, but you're mostly fine. Okay, that's the day you should be riding. If you're sad and you're like really sad, you know, like this is you know, normal or worse than normal, you know, again, maybe it's not. Maybe you should just try to figure yourself out before you put your life on the line. And get, honestly, like, you might get some, you know, temporary enjoyment, meditative effects, things like that. Yeah, there's definitely positives to riding, but like, the risk is insane, I feel like, for the reward. Like, if you're riding for like health benefits, I don't know, I feel like that's kind of crazy. It's a recreational activity, you know, like I don't know. I'm crazy. I'm making these like moral, qualitative judgments here. That's not right. Because I don't even know if I've reached that myself. We want to ride when we're sad, but like I'd say take a pause. Oh yeah, look at the. I don't know if you noticed the road. Look at that. I was very careful to not ride on that. It was probably be okay, but like, is that diesel fuel? Do you want to take the chance that like you're gonna start, you know, sliding around a little bit? Or worse, you know, just find yourself suddenly on the ground, because that can. I've seen so many YouTube videos of that. I'm like, nope, stay away. The damp roads. Anyways, I think it's fine. I mean, I like riding a lot, obviously. I still do it, even though I talk all this smack all the time in my videos because I have nothing else to talk about. I still ride. I mean, I love riding. But I definitely think, yeah, I mean, depression, I mean, if you're trying to get yourself out of depression, it's a hard thing. I mean, it depends on why you're depressed, right? And your day-to-day life and just what's going on in your life. I mean, trying to find some way to understand yourself, I think, is the key. But that's taking a complex set of things you need to do and turning it into like one simple thing. Because you're living, you know, you're living within your own head every second of the day, right? So you have to find some way to come at peace with that while, you know, you're doing your job or dealing with your family or your coworkers or your kid, you know, whatever is really stressing you out and not letting you relax and find inner peace. And it was what making you depressed, you know. Sounds like some weird Buddhist stuff. That's not what I'm saying. Maybe it is. I don't really know enough about any of this stuff. So maybe I should try to change the subject, but yeah, we don't have a subject. Look at all these bicyclists. I don't know. A lot of people, such a contentious subject. Certainly a difficult one. I think in one sense they are a hazard to the modern roadway and here in America. You know, just having slow moving vehicles in general can be a big problem when everyone goes so fast. It can create road rage situations and just all kinds of stuff. But at the same time, I mean, there are vehicles too. I don't know. And then of course some bicyclists are crazy and do all kinds of illegal stuff. But so do motorists. I've seen people drive real life like it's GTA, although that is pretty rare. But yeah, motorcycles do it. That's pretty common. Just like go absolutely fucking crazy, especially in cities and stuff. I don't know. It's a topic that makes me feel like I'm falling asleep just starting to talk about it. I was having more fun being morbid than talking about some nonsense. Whatever. I mean, we're all sharing the road. I don't care. Like, that's all I can say is give bicyclists a little respect, because even if they deserve it or not, like, you're the one who might pay the price or have to, like, flee the scene if you don't want to. Good luck, you know? Like, you don't want to hit somebody with your car regardless of whether they deserve it or not. Oh, well. Old Indian Head Highway, is that where we are? You can see me, like, really, really taking it easy there. And here, too. Just, again, you know, wet roads, unknown area. Just going out for a real cruise, you know. Oh yeah, train tracks? I think I'm also just keeping it chill again because of the speed limits here, and I think I've seen a couple cops maybe at this point. I don't know. Ugh. Yeah, I can feel like, even though it's been a few weeks or a couple weeks now at least since I've had the flu, I can feel it in my throat. It's just like, now that I've been talking a lot, what's the word? It's just like my throat's kind of like harsh, you know, and that makes me want to cough. Crap. Yeah, so whatever. Try to keep that to a minimum. My bad. But now that I do it, it's like super harsh now. Okay, I gotta drink. Gotta take my drink. A little bit of coffee. Cold brew. Looking back and forth, yeah. I'm happy that I have the computer that I got. That was a good decision, even though I spent a lot of money. $500 for, you know, whatever, a kind of middle of the road graphics card is not great, but yeah. I got the 5600 XT, which is nice. I could definitely have a better processor for video editing, but honestly, what I really like is I got a nice big Lian Li like gaming case in a Nocta, I think, cooler or something like that. I got a huge, you know, a higher end air cooler with a big case, a bunch of fans, you know, all that, and yeah, the computer just stays cool. It doesn't make a ton of noise. It doesn't put out a lot of heat because it can't, right? I've only got the 5600 instead of like the 58 or 59, which basically have the same single core performance, they all do, but those ones can, you know, use more cores and put out a shitload more heat is basically what they're doing, right? And that lets them, you know, generate a ton more multi-core performance for things like video editing and whatnot. But I'm not a professional YouTuber. I have to spend my own money on my computer, right? Like, this is all just straight sunk expense. I'm never going to see a dime of it back, so I'd rather just get a kind of a lower end computer. Oh, lower end, that's funny, but like, in the gaming space, right? Like a lower end nice computer with like nice components, with like a nice power supply, case, etc., rather than spend the money on like a high-end graphics card and CPU that I don't really need. I'm using 1440p monitors. I've got like the widescreen. I've got the widescreen gaming monitor. I think it's either a VA or a TN panel, one of those, you know, lower end panels types, 144 FPS, low input lag, yada yada. Not a great monitor, but it's pretty nice. And then I got like the one I'm using here is like an Asus. But I don't even know why I said the brand. It's like it's a color grading monitor. It's a lower end one. Again, 1440p. But I think that's the way it works. Like a nice enough monitor, and I don't have to spend thousands and thousands. Even though I did, I spent over $2,000, probably close to $3,000 for everything, right? For the computer, the monitors, and I got this microphone, and I got a chair. Because I needed a new chair. I was, you know, 300 pounds sitting on that old chair, which was a cheap piece of crap one anyway. And yeah, so new chair. Had to treat myself because yeah, that one was broken. It works pretty well. I think the big downside to 1440p isn't even with the computer. It's the the gaming console side. My PS5 doesn't support 1440p well, and it certainly doesn't support the ultra wide monitor well. Funny enough, I'm just playing Gran Turismo 5 on the ultra wide 1440p. I'm just running it at 1080p, which is hilarious, and it just stretches it out. I don't even know if my monitor has an option to pull it in. I've looked through it like a million times to try to find one. I couldn't. Everything's distorted, but as weird as that sounds, it kind of helps. If you can kind of get over the fact that it's not realistic, it gives you a nice field of view. It makes it kind of makes it kind of easier to catch slides and stuff, especially since I'm just using a Logitech G920. A lot of people definitely take the sim racing thing seriously, and I can appreciate and respect that. For me, I don't know, video games in general are something I have a hard time with. And I don't know if I really want to spend the money on a actual sim setup with like a direct drive wheel that has like real force to it and real resolution. I mean, I get it. I just don't think I need it. Like I'm fine sometimes just playing like your average arcade racer with a controller a lot. So like Forza or something. Well, I'm bummed with Forza. I wanted to love that game and get into it and like just get all the cars and do this and that. But with the way the multiplayer is, I don't care. I like immediately was like, whatever. Maybe I'll play it here and there. Like I really don't have a desire to play it, which really stinks. Hopefully they're gonna fix the multiplayer, and then it'll be more fun. Like I don't care about the ramming. Ramming's fine. Like dirty racing's fine. I totally get it. It can be frustrating, but that's just the way it is. I'm more mean like the game's glitchy as shit and it doesn't work. Like that's pretty beat. So I'd rather just chill out and wait for that to get a little better. What other games was I playing? Yeah, so Gran Turismo is fine. I like Gran Turismo. I don't know, something about the aesthetic of it and the music and the way the cars handle, especially in GT Sport. It's not that realistic, but it's realistic enough where you can kind of just have some fun with it, and you can drive realistically and then add a little bit of that sim racing, like, extra to it to kind of get a little pace if you need it. I feel like sometimes, I mean, iRacing's gotten so much better, I'm not gonna lie, and I really am thinking about playing that, but I just don't really have anyone to play it with that has the same kind of mentality as me. I tried to get into it with some other guys, and they really got into it hardcore, which is good for them. It's just not for me. I want to just kind of screw around in iRacing. Like, I'm not too interested in the official race series, more than maybe just hot lapping, racing with the AI, stuff like that. Now, I still want to keep going along with Dirt Oval. Dirt Oval was a lot of fun. But yeah, I feel like I want to do that with a friend as well. But then again, see, then you have that line where it's like serious or not. Anyway, I've got the monitor for it though. Assetto Corsa was okay. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know, yeah. I mean, I don't have that feel for like just playing like a single player kind of like driving around game right now. Which stinks. I used to really like doing that, like getting on those like kind of... People would make like the Pacific Coast Highway map or the Lake Louie map. Those are really fun. But I don't know, I'm just not feeling that right now. I'd rather do some like racing or something, be a little more competitive. Like casually competitive, if that makes sense. I don't know. I feel kind of like in a more hyped up mood lately, which is pretty nice. Not complaining there. Oh, yeah, this is Molly Berry Road. I remember this one. Yeah, I specifically saw this and was like, wow, this is a twisty road. So I think this is where we do see a little twistiness. I'm not really commenting on the area, but this is kind of nice. I like it's kind of country, but you're not that far from the city, right? We're like right off the highway, like not right off, but we're not that far from the city, Huh, yeah, see, like, I've been eating so much, and I'm all bloated and stuff, but at the same time, my body is, like, all of a sudden giving me that, hey, I'm really hungry, I should eat right now feeling. And it's like, I could tell myself, well, after I'm done recording this, or even after I'm done making the video, I should go eat breakfast or something. I don't even know. I don't know what to do. But it's like 6:24 in the morning. Or, yeah, and, yeah, whatever. I hope I'm not talking too loud, too quiet. One thing that kind of bums me out about the DaVinci Resolve, it's hard to see the levels you're putting up. Because if you turn off audio monitoring, like in your headphones, it turns off the level monitoring in the program as well. I don't know if there's a way to like split that, and then it doesn't matter. Just complaining. Yeah, again, you can see me going pretty slow. I think this is good. This is what you should be doing. Like, there's no need to go crazy. I could have been maybe analyzing my riding a little. Maybe we should do it. Let's see what I do here. How I feel about these lines. This is nice. Nice on the outside. Yeah, kind of like coming more towards the middle, but giving myself a nice out if there's like something slippery on the road, right? Kind of pulling through there a little bit, but not too fast. Looking. I don't think I needed to look down there. I think that was more just for fun. Yeah, same thing. Nice outside line. And then again, switching over here. I'm just staying inside. I can see through the corner nice and well. So even though I'm like kind of further inside than you might want to be some other times, why not? Like I saw that there was no traffic, so I'll just take the lazy line and stay inside, you know? Here again, like, right, I can already see through the corner. So I kind of just stay inside. Just stay inside. We like to talk a lot. See, again, stay outside here. We like to talk a lot about like the racing line and stuff, but don't use the racing line on the road very much. Like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So that was kind of a nicer, twistier bit. I think there's more twisty stuff to look at.
Hey, look at the name of this road we were just on, by the way.
Yeah, I'm talking about that. What are you gonna do? 25. Wow. Yeah, again, you can see me just, I'm not doing anything like what a racing line would be, and that's because we're not on the racetrack, right? We can't even use the whole road. We can't even use half the road, realistically, a lot of the time because of blind corners and whatnot. You don't want to, like, put yourself in a precarious position for no reason. Like, here again, I'm sitting on the outside just calming. I never go inside. Why would I go to the inside, right? I can't see, and then, you know, when it's wet like this too, the grip levels will kind of change just slightly between, say, the 3 lane positions, right? Where the position 1 and 3, the outside positions might have a little less water than the middle position, or a little more, depending on how the road's crowned. Ugh, it doesn't matter, but... Is this twisty? I don't think this is as twisty. Oh, look at me. Doing some head stuff here. Standing up, just messing around. Where am I going here? Now we're on one of these more narrow roads. Let's see what I do here. Because I think the lines you select on these roads with no center line, especially this one, this is a super narrow road. This is much more important than I think on wider roads. You have a lot more room, right? Because you don't have that visual warning to stay on your side of the road, and also to kind of not give yourself, not put yourself in bad positions around like blind corners and over hills and things like that. Yeah, you can see me checking up here, even though I can kind of see. I think what I'm worried about is his right-hander. Very blind. See, yeah, just now I can start to see through it. You always gotta, like, right, anticipate that someone's gonna come around the corner. Because they will. They absolutely will. Like, as soon as... in, like, the worst times, like... I love how on the map, though, I can always get distracted looking at the GPS and be like, oh, look, there's gonna be a tight turn coming up on the right. We're gonna go left and then have a tight turn to the right. That's what it says. So let's see. Yep, see. And yeah, this one's nice. I can see it through that pretty good, but even though I did, you notice, again, I didn't take an aggressive line. I kind of just went in the middle. Maybe middle outside a little bit. I do try to avoid riding in the middle position of the lane just because it can be less clean, especially on these country roads. You might find stuff. That's where you're going to find like gravel or debris usually is in the very middle of the lane. So when I'm going around like a blind turn especially, or if I'm going at higher speeds on like an unknown road, I might just stay away from the middle if I can reasonably do it. I don't know. I think that's even being extreme. I think we maybe, or at least I get a little paranoid about that when I don't need to. I've been trying to work on it, but it's kind of hard. Because there is some truth, you know, to the fact that the middle does have the debris. Yeah, see, this is kind of a trappy one, right? It's hard to, it's just going and going. But in this case, obviously, it never really got tightened up or anything like that. But you're looking around the turn and you're like, is this tightening or what's going on here? Man, this coffee's crushing my stomach. That's funny. Yeah, I can tell my blood sugar's really going down because I've been eating, I had some beers and stuff yesterday, but along with that, you know, I think when you wake up the next day, now that your body's gone through all that sugar and whatnot from the ethanol, my blood sugar's going down. It's like, my body's like, oh my god, you need food. It's like, no. I need to chill and actually, you know, burn off some of this stored glycogen and everything. That way I don't start gaining weight. I think that's the hardest thing is if we're gonna eat these modern diets we're eating, or really I think any diet, but especially a modern diet high in sugar. What we're gonna end up seeing is if you want to eat a diet with sugar in it and not gain weight, you have to accept that there's gonna be times where you have to just be like, I'm gonna be hungry. Like I'm gonna feel hungry and want to eat and just be like, no. Because if you don't do that and you eat every time you're hungry and your diet has a bunch of sugar in it, like mine kind of does right now, like you're screwed. Your body's just going to process all that sugar, turn it into glycogen, your blood sugar is going to go up, go down, and then you're going to feel super hungry even though you have tons of energy and you have tons of, you know, you have everything you need. You're not actually hungry, but your body is telling you are, so you eat more. It's pretty straightforward stuff. But that's hard to do because it's hard to tell if you have like that false hunger or if it's like really running a calorie deficit, and then you're gonna lose weight and become skin and bones. And you definitely don't want to get any issues with like EDs or like arexias and things like that. Oof, that's scary. I've seen that as well, and that kind of contributed to one of the reasons I gained so much weight. I was just always telling myself, it's better than being too skinny. Like, geez, yeah, whatever. I'm the last person who should be, you know, preaching or anything about any of this stuff too. I try to avoid talking about it. It's hard not to because I'm excited about, you know, losing all the weight and stuff, but at the same time I don't want to be preachy because I don't really understand exactly what happened. It's kind of confusing to me, so I'm trying to put some kind of label on it, maybe just talking to myself in my standard vlog, you know, style here. I think we're getting kind of closer to the end here. I really don't know where I am. I really don't know where I am in any of this, to be perfectly frank. So we're coming up on a stop sign. I think there's still more. Once we get back on the road, maybe we're closer. I don't know. I feel like there's still at least like 30 more minutes. I'm gonna take a quick little sit here.
If I had a Grom or something, I could attach it.
mean, this is a pretty nice area too. Again, nice kind of country. I could live in a place like this. Maybe not. It's like suburban, but less suburban, sorta. Like the, I don't know. I don't even know how to put it. A lot of lower speed limits. Kind of makes sense. Hey, you can hear me coughing more. I think being out here too, talking a lot, you can hear me just going crazy when I take a pause from my voiceover recording right now. You can hear me talking over and over and over on the voice comms. It's hard for me not to do that. I like talking. You can hear me talking to myself. I don't think it's normal. I think most people can't do what I'm doing right now, or I wouldn't even say they can't. It's just they won't. They won't do what I'm doing right now for many reasons, which are probably good. But yeah, sitting here talking to yourself into a microphone for what, over an hour in one continuous take, and then even sucking it up when you say stupid things, like, for sure. And then posting it online, even though you know not a lot of people are watching, but you're still posting it online and doing this, that, and the other. I mean, you're putting yourself out there. Yeah, I mean, I hope I never said anything too stupid. I actually have made videos where I've recorded for like a while, and then I started getting into a topic, and I think it was one time I had a few drinks, and I started talking about a subject that I shouldn't have been talking about for just for posting publicly. You know, it wasn't so much that it was like a crazy hot take or this or that. It's just not something that I wanted associated with my channel. And that's all I need to say about that. So I ended up having to, you know, start over. I think I waited till like the next day or something, just to like, ugh, you know, that's a hurt. That hurts, right? Wasting all that time. Not that making these videos or not making them is a waste of time. I don't know. I enjoy video editing in a sense. I enjoy kind of wrestling with the software, which is weird to say. I've always kind of been like that. I like that kind of thing. Like, to me, it's like a video game in a sense. Like I don't really see the difference between this and playing like Modern Warfare. And I get it, that's more of like a Twitch-based thing, and there's a lot of competition. But for me, I'm not a big competitive guy with video games. Maybe with racing games, just because I have like some knowledge and muscle memory of it. But yeah, with first-person shooters, I'm just never able to really like care enough to get good enough to be competitive. So why should I care, you know? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, now I'm coughing. Ugh. Still have it a bit. That winter stuff. It happens to me every winter. Some winters are worse than others, that's for sure. But since I was sick, it kind of like, I feel it just like it has my throat being real raw. And that's hard to recover from when you keep coughing and whatnot. Anyway. I'm cool. Just taking another little pause, guys. Right in the middle here. We're just going down this highway. I mean, oh, the fire truck. That thing was so cool. I think that was a privately owned fire truck. Super cool. Super, super cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say at this point. I feel like I've exhausted all my topics. Yeah. I'm confused. What do I do? Help me myself. Come up with a topic. Are we gonna turn left here? Pull in front of this? No, I'm gonna wait. Oh, I'm turning right. Oh yeah, another tight turn. Okay, I think we're gonna get back into some twisties now. So let's see how I do. I mean, sorry, I got nothing else interesting to say. My stream should be ending. Oh yeah, I'm talking about, yeah, that turn we went in, the right hand turn there. Now maybe See, I think that may have been me being too paranoid to ride in the middle of the lane in the turn, and that ended up kind of. I don't like how I took that one and kind of cut into too much. I should have gone a little wider, I think. Now I'm standing up. Whatever. I went over the middle there. I didn't take some weird like paranoid of going over the middle line at that point. You can see one thing I do as well, which I think is really important, and that I don't hear a lot of people talk about, and that's kind of like own your position on the road. Don't make like sudden swoopy changes in your lane position so that you can like take a better line through the turn. Like, if you didn't set yourself up correctly from the get-go, just like own where you are and just like don't get on the throttle until you're like ready to go. You know what I mean? Just like you lost the time already. Don't try to save like the fact that you've like taken the wrong line through a series of corners. I feel like I need to make an example of this because I think it's actually super important. You can get in so much trouble when you get like offline and then trying to get back online too quickly is kind of what I guess I'm saying. Yeah. Slow. Did I slow down? Nah, it's just a little gravel. I see. And I stand up for why not? I'm on the GS, so might as well stand up. Yeah, nice and slow through here. That I like. See, I come in nice and tight there. Again, is that contentious or not? Like, that's just such a simple turn. I can see through it. I know I can use all that lane space. And maybe that's a bad habit or not. I am not sure. It makes me wonder. It certainly makes me wonder. These are little things. I'm not sure how important it is to... what can I say? I'm not sure how important it is to be perfect, you know? All the time. Like to go a little wide, or... I wouldn't even say go a little wide. Just, you know, just not be in the correct position in your lane all the time. I guess that really depends on your pace, right? If you're going slow, like lower than the speed limit or the speed limit or something like that, as long as you're not like across the yellow line, you're probably okay. It's like, you know what I mean? As long as like your entire body is on the right side. See there, I don't know. Was I too far inside? Could I see through the turn? I'm going pretty slow. Like if someone was coming, it's no big thing to, you know, just kind of go to the outside of the road a little. But is that leaving me with less outs? Maybe I'm so scared of riding in the middle that I don't know. It's just something to think about for me. Like I said, think about your riding. For me, I'm gonna get into the philosophy thing then at this point, because all of a sudden now I'm waxing poetic and going on in circles about these little tiny details of riding that honestly, right, don't make any difference. Like, when you're going fast and you're doing this, that, and the other, you need to have good lane position. But when you're cruising around like this, I think really the key is stay calm and don't do any sudden, ridiculous shit. Having really good lane position certainly makes it easier to do what I just said, right? You can straighten things out and minimize lean angles, yada yada. But yeah, avoid, you know, taking corrective actions in the middle of corners is always a good goal, right? But at the end of the day, when you're riding the way I'm riding at the speeds I'm at, like, I'm never going anywhere near the limits of grip of the motorcycle. If I need to, I can get on the brakes very quickly. I can steer very sharply and then brake. Like, I have so much grip available that as long as I go from, say, going around the corner all casually to full braking properly and smoothly, I have tons of grip. I can't just jab the brakes. I can't just steer as hard as I can, counter steer, right? I can't just counter steer as hard as I can. I don't know, I mean, if you're still watching this, And you don't know about counter steering. No, I'm just messing around. I think everyone knows. I'm not gonna mansplain. I love mansplaining. Apparently, it's like my #1 hobby. 2021. No. Too funny. Too funny. I have to say, I can't get enough of this GS. It's too good. Every time I think about another bike, I can't stop saying it. I think about other bikes for fun, because I mean, what kind of motorcycle or car enthusiast wouldn't think always, just constantly, about what else they could be driving or riding, right? I feel like oh my gosh, sorry. Yeah, I feel like if you're not constantly doing that, man. I might have to try to find those coughs and clip them. I hope I do that. But if I didn't do that, I'm sorry for your ears, because that one I definitely saw go into the red a little bit on the gain chart on the mic. Thankfully, I can look at the levels on the mic itself. Yeah. See me keeping a nice distance. That's one thing I've noticed I do different from like so many other riders and drivers. I try to keep massive gaps to vehicles in front of me. Especially when I know I don't have like anywhere to go, or I'm not running like late and I don't need to be aggressive. Like, oh my god. Like, if you have no need to be aggressive, just chill out. Like, why get close to people? I mean, yeah, I guess you can try to like force them to go a little faster. Again, that's being aggressive. So if you're gonna do that, just be aggressive, right? Kind of taking half measures or like being halfway aggressive, I feel like you're taking a lot of the risk without any of the reward of being able to go fast. Anyway, whatever. I'm telling you how to live. I'm telling you how to think. I'm telling you how to feel. I'm right. I'm always right. I've never been wrong in my life. Damn, look at those horses getting pulled by that car. I guess he's running them or something. Dude, I don't know or care. Horse stuff. I won't even get into it. Some nice houses though. When you see horses running around, you know you're in a pretty nice area. I'll say that. You know what I mean? It's like decent property values probably. I don't know. Just the assumption. Bobbing my head around like always. I like to do that. I guess I can really tell the difference on the GoPro between 1440 and 1080. I really think I want to try a more modern camera, but at the same time, I don't know. I think the big question to ask now is, do you do the Hero 10 or do you do the whatever the Chinese one? What, I can never remember the name. The DJI one with the 1-inch sensor. Is having a bigger sensor, is that going to give you better results in this space when I'm like attaching it to my helmet? Ugh. They're not. I mean, they're expensive, right? You're talking like like $400+ to get into this. It's hard to say. I've been kind of waiting to see more longer term reviews with each. I feel like jumping into these systems right when they come out is kind of a mistake. Because the devil's in the details with these things, I've noticed, right? Like, one of the big problems with the Hero 5 that I have is hooking up a microphone to it. It's just such a pain in the ass. And people do it. They absolutely do it all the time. But man, the way the things they have to go through to do it, I'm just not willing to do it. I don't want my helmet to have all that crap on it. To be honest, just having a camera on my helmet is almost a bridge too far for me. This is like, doing what I'm doing now is like pretty much as far as I'm willing to go. I don't want anything else on my helmet but a camera. I'm willing to do like a tether, which is for the camera. So that's it. I'm just willing to have the camera and then maybe a second like tether with like one of those little circle tether things. That's it. I don't want a battery or, you know, all that other stuff. I mean, the Cardo, I've got the Cardo too, so. I specifically meant in relation to, video recording stuff. I keep a battery bank sometimes, and I keep it on my body or on my bike. there's a cop there now or something. I don't know. But I keep the battery bank on my body or something. But I'd rather not have that on my helmet, because I can have a pretty big one on my body, first off, and those things are pretty heavy. I don't want all that weight on my head. It's annoying. I kind of get headaches anyways, regardless of what size helmet I wear. So I'd rather make myself more comfortable. And then dealing with a bunch of interfaces and adapters and stuff to use a microphone, to me, is insane. I really have been thinking about using an external audio recorder. The idea would be I would, sync my audio up, maybe like clap or like hit the horn or use the starter or something to sync the audio and the video up with two different sources. And I'd probably use like a microphone that's like maybe under my rear fender or by the exhaust, somewhere where it's picking up good sound. I don't know exactly where that would be. By good sound, I don't necessarily mean the exhaust, but maybe like also the intake sound would be nice, or the engine sound. But you never know. I'd have to test that out in some spots. That'd be pretty cool, because then I could put my voiceovers over top of that, or I could do like raw engine note stuff. I've seen some guys do that, which is pretty nice. I mean, I feel like a video like this is nice to have on in the background, kind of like a podcast. It's like yeah, and that's kind of what it is, right? That's kind of what this has become. The Sterling Moto podcast with some riding in the background. And I guess that's good, and because I never have anything to talk about, it's nice that I only put a few of these out every so often, right? It's true though. Honestly, it's not like I have topics every day. This is not the normal, paid YouTube stuff. Is this art? Is this skateboarding? No. I mean, this is not art. I don't consider this art at all. It's a diary. I'm just checking in, Just checking in with you guys. I'm glad I'm doing okay, though. I mean, with a longer video like this, I definitely have to talk in circles. More editing might have been a good idea, kind of like cutting out some of these long highway parts, but I don't know. Is there something right about this? Something wrong? I mean, maybe I'll ask and see if anyone watched the whole thing. I don't really look at my analytics for YouTube, to be honest. 'Cause, again, I'm not into it that much. That might be something to look at. You know what? We've got a little bit. Hold on. If I start using the mouse, it's gonna make a bunch of noise. I know I already did it and killed your eardrums, so I'm gonna stop. I think at this point we're getting closer to the end. Not the end, the bridge. I feel like it's got to come eventually, right? I honestly have no idea how long I've been doing this. Over an hour. Okay. Yeah. Dang. Yeah, this is a longer video, huh? We're making a left-hand turn here. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. But I think...
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's military.
I think we're getting back onto the main road now.
But no, honestly, statistically, most people in the military...
Statistically, my butt is the biggest object in the universe, which makes no sense. Because you don't use statistics to measure things that way, but that's okay. It's okay, Sterling Moto. You do you. George is getting very upset, right? No? Just being completely confusing and awful. I love it. Oh, we got some dirt bikes. Got some dirt bikes. And a Honda at that. I could talk about the Formula One race. I don't know. To me, it was like the most Formula One thing ever. Where, we had this thing where it was literally down to the wire, and a bunch of, I mean, by all accounts, I mean, they should have red flagged the race as soon as they realized the car was on the track. They didn't. For some reason, everything got crazy. And he basically, I mean, it's just a weird situation, right? It was like political in a sense. Or not. We don't even know. Like, I guess that's the worst part. Is that was it a political decision? Was it really for TV? It was oh yeah, they were running radar. They definitely radared me right there, and I was not speeding at all, but that was still pretty funny. They had like the whole freaking force out. But yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, that was, I mean, it really reminds me of, like, you know, Senna and Prost at Suzuka, when all those movies about that, right? Like, what do? They just crashed into each other. Who do you penalize? And that happened twice. Or the one with Senna and Prost at the, the crash in turn 1, as well as the whole incident at the chicane. You also have the whole Michael Schumacher getting, you know, the championship ban or whatever that was, where he got removed from the championship for that season in, what, 97 or something? I can't remember the year. You also have Crashgate. I hate how they call things gate, but you have Crashgate, right? Of course, and that harkens back, right? Oh my God! Imagine if there was a Crashgate for whatever Lafferty or whatever, whoever crashed. I can't pronounce his name. Oh my gosh, darn it! I'm getting to the point talking where it's like, oh no, my throat hurts. I might have bit off more than I can chew here, guys. Oof. Oof, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was the most F1 thing ever to me, which is good and bad. I was certainly emotionally invested in it, which is never a bad thing, right? Does it do anything good for the long-term future of Formula One? I don't know. I feel like it's bad, but I could be wrong about that. Lewis Hamilton, super classy guy, in the face of defeat. Max Verstappen, always, and his dad, super creepy. Whatever. I honestly wanted Max to win because I wanted Mercedes to not win. Not that I don't. It's not that I dislike Mercedes. I actually really like them as a team and everything. But and I like Lewis as driver especially. But I like Lewis more than Max. But man, come on. I want to cheer for the underdog. I feel like that's normal. Cheering for the underdog. So I like that he won. Even with a slower car too. He managed to just bullshit so hard. Mercedes did the prevent defense, LOL, with not pitting. They definitely could have pitted, but I don't know about the second time. The first, the first time they could have pitted, they had Max covered. If they had a good pit stop, they had it covered where they could have pitted and gotten off the softs or put it on like used softs or the mediums. They could have put on some other set of tires and come out in the first and been ahead of Max, and they didn't do it because they knew if they had a bad pit stop, they'd be behind him, and that would have been a disaster, right? So they were like, look, we're good, we're just going to stay out, you'll be fine. Yeah. The second time, I don't know, I think they had him covered. I think it was very close, like the way it all happened when Lafferty or whatever his name crashed. They had maybe 5 or 10 seconds to say, okay, box now, and this is the bridge. Box now and you'll have them covered. Yeah, it was super windy here. Just to change the subject, super windy here. I'm like kind of leaning into it. That's nice. It wasn't so gusty, so I kind of lean into it. Maybe like 30 mile an hour crosswind here. It's just, you know, getting carried by the river. So I'm like doing my best, like I'm feeling really tense, but I'm trying to contain that tenseness like in my core and be loose with my arms and my legs. It's the best I can do. I'm not perfect. It's pretty beautiful though. I always like it, even the grayness and the winterness. One thing I like about this is there's definitely a lot of detail in the sky. You can see the clouds and stuff. I like it. But yeah, back to the F1 thing. We were talking about how like maybe when there was the crash, maybe I think they might have had just the tiniest time to box right then and there. And had they had done that, I think Lewis would have been the champion, maybe. But again, I think they should have red flagged the race and let Lewis put on the softs. That's my personal opinion. And is that the right decision to make? I don't know. Because imagine if he had done that and Max won. Okay, great. I think that would have been the best outcome. But imagine if they had done that and Lewis put on the softs and won. I mean, imagine the controversy there. People would have been... I don't think it would have been as bad as what we had now, but there definitely would have been a good amount of complaining that, you know, the race was handed to Lewis with the steward's decision. And in a sense, that's true. The steward's decision was going to influence the race one way or another. The yellow flag, I feel like, honestly, the best thing that they could have done was probably just run it out under the yellow. I think that's the way it should have been. They didn't have the laps. I mean, honestly, if by following their own procedure, they didn't have the laps. I think the big failing here is I think the stewards need to have established safety car guidelines. Like, in that particular case, they should have known what the minimum amount of laps it was going to take under the safety car was, and they should have realized it was going to be more than the remaining laps of the race, and they should have immediately red flagged the race. I think was the big failing. That they didn't, as soon as they saw the car on the track with the debris and stuff, they should have been like, someone should have been like, hey, this is going to be a 7-lap safety car, and they've been like, oh shit, there's only 6 laps. And been like, red flag, done, you know? Like, it should have been that simple of a decision to make. And that, yes, plays into Lewis's hands, but maybe the rules should be different. Maybe the rules should be you can't change your tires under a safety car. Or a red flag situation. How about this? Maybe the situation should be if the red flag is like the kind of is close enough to the end of the race, you can't change your tires. But if it's far enough away, see, again, just having consistent rules, I think, is the key to all of it, and not having them and having the championship come down to that inconsistency is very. It feels bad, right? But at the end of the day, it was fun. I had a good time watching the race. It was the first F1 race I watched since 2016. And will I watch more next year? I don't know. I actually don't know if I want to start getting back into F1. And the reason isn't so much that it's bad. It's just I don't think I have the time to really follow it. There's a lot of races. They're kind of long. Honestly, you need to watch qualifying and maybe even the practice sessions to get a good sense for it. Just like MotoGP, you gotta watch the other sessions, not just the race session, to really get a good sense for what's going on. So, I know we're coming near to the end of this video now. Maybe another 15-20 minutes. We will see. I mean, I'll say it like I usually say it. I mean, at this point, I would like to thank anyone who's still watching, of course. Thank myself for talking this much. Oh my god, I can't stop. Won't stop. This is straight up first take. No breaks, no stops. Been sitting in my chair the whole time. Holy moly. You can hear it in my voice. I can feel it and hear it. Ooh. I wonder what's going to happen with Marquez if we're going to talk about the motorsports world. That's my big thing. Like, he's my favorite rider. I was so pumped for him in 2020. And it was strange, too. Like, I could see it in that first race. The way he was riding was, like, very scary. I'm thinking to myself, like, the Honda's not doing so good. Like, these other bikes are really making a lot of leaps in terms of rideability and consistency. So it seemed like what was happening is not so much that the single lap pace was getting faster, but that the race pace was getting faster. And what I mean is, like, the overall time it's taking to complete races is getting less. So the race pace is just faster and more consistent. The Honda was having a hard time with that, and you could tell Mark was able to keep the pace. He's able to get, you know, what he needs out of the bike, but the problem seemed to be any little mistake he made, which was inevitable, especially at the pace he was riding, was just being punished really, really harshly. And especially there, right when he broke his arm, he just get a little offline. That was all he had to do. I mean, shit. And we've seen it with the Hondas. They seem to high side a lot. We have high sides with some of the other bikes, but the Hondas seem to really have a problem with it. I don't know. And I really think what it is the pressure. I mean, these guys are trying to get the bikes to perform, and getting the Honda is difficult to ride, obviously, on a lot of these tracks. Anyway, the whole vision thing with Mark, that's such a shame. I mean, is it something that's going to resolve, or I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if he can come back. I mean, it's something we've seen a lot of. We've seen a lot of riders have issues with, like Rossi and stuff, where when as soon as you come off the top, right, you go from first to not first anymore. It's like game over. I really like what I did there. I just stayed wide the whole time. I never like brought it inside. That was good line. And then there too. See, I just kept it inside the whole time. Never really felt the need to go all the way out to the yellow line. Like, why? And maybe I could have gone a little wider, but again, why? I was going pretty slow. No need to go crazy. It's wet. Just having a good time. How many times have I said that in this video? 100 times now. It's pretty nice. Little Maryland scenic area. No, what did that say? I didn't read it in time. Hitchhiking? No loitering? No littering? I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I was saying, like with Rossi coming off, and then you also think about maybe from Formula One, like Sebastian Vettel. And I wonder about Lewis Hamilton. That's going to be the real test for him. He is now facing, I think, the biggest test of his career. Because he's a little older, right? He's at the top of the game, right? Is he the fastest driver? There's questions about that, right? He definitely had the best car, and he was the fastest driver at that last race. There's no contention there. He was the fastest pace-wise, but he still lost, of course. But next year, right, there's going to be rule changes or something, so that'll be interesting to see what happens there. If he can squeak out a win, or what's going to go down. And next year is going to be interesting. I think Quartararo obviously has a lot of pace. To the whole Ducati situation, right? People are terrified. I want to see Ducati win. I would love to see their strategy of having 8 bajillion bikes come in and they just gobble up the entire sport next year. I mean, I feel like that'd be bad for the sport, but I kind of just want to see it and laugh. If they can come in and make a bike that's that much better than everyone else's, because it really seems like that is what's happened, is that the Ducati is far and away now the best bike. But the Yamaha, despite its lack of power, can definitely work. It's good on its tires, and it's fast. It's just hard. It's hard with the race because the lack of power hurts it with the passing situation. Anyway, the track position conundrum. There's still more twisty roads. Twisty roads. Going down to Solomon's Island with my monotone voice. I'm not even, just awful. I'm not even going to try to sing. I know if I try to sing, I'm going to immediately start coughing. That was my issue. Nice and easy. Super smooth. You could even hear me accelerating out of the turn a little bit. just a little bit. Of course, the wind noise, so maybe I will try to do the audio recording thing. Maybe that could be a project for today. I'd go up by the audio recorder and do like a quick little video. Maybe buy a GoPro too. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Yeah, who knows? Do a little research. Now I'm feeling interested. I mean, this looks good though. Honestly, at this, on my 1440 screen with the 1440 clip, it looks amazing actually. Like this looks better than any YouTube video moto vlog from a GoPro. So I just know YouTube's gonna compress the hell out of it. So that's a bummer. Oh well, what are you gonna do? And I still have this on like flat color too. What would really be nice, thinking about it, would be a variable ND filter that's controlled like automatically. So like the camera automatically adjusts the variable ND filter to do exposure compensation, and then, you know, can maybe resort to changing the frame rate if it needs to. Or hell, even the aperture. Yeah, although I don't think that's gonna happen. Because like for this, like if the frame rate changes, it's not optimal, but it's okay.
For me, the booster was the easiest with the flu shot too.
Oh, I'm talking about the beer stuff, right? I'm just sitting here. I guess I could have edited out this part of me sitting at the stop sign.
I had COVID before I got the vaccines.
Oh god, I'm just saying, like I thought I probably had COVID because I kept going out like a dumbass, even though there was COVID everywhere. I don't know. I'm not proud of myself. I don't know. I took all the precautions and followed all the protocols, and I never got sick, so maybe I didn't get it, but I think chances are I was just asymptomatic. I don't know. Yes or no? I don't think I'll ever know. I'm all vaxxed up. Oh yeah. See, now, I remember earlier in the video, I was talking about hunger and how I was feeling super hungry. Now I'm not hungry at all. I don't feel hungry. I like rode it out for what, about an hour? And now it's like, nah, because the hormones are done. My blood sugar went down, and now it's just down. So the hormone, the ghrelin is gone, right? And I don't feel hungry. I'm just chilling. Like my body's just, I think at this point, starting to use a little glycogen, but it still has, you know, food and a lot of stuff in my liver. I got plenty of energy, and I don't even think I'm not, there's no way I'm going anywhere near the fat in my body right now. And that's not because of, you know, oh, I'm eating carbs versus protein versus this. No, it's because I don't need it. Like, I have so much energy stored up in my body from all the food I've been eating. I haven't been fasting. And I think that's why people talk about intermittent fasting a lot. And I think that's why it worked for me. It's not that, like, intermittent fasting and having high and low blood sugar and this and that or the other does anything on its own. It's all psychological. So, like, when you have that 18-hour break between meals, okay? So say you eat a meal at noon and then you eat a meal at 5 p.m. That's kind of what I would normally do. So that gives me about a 6 hour window, right? So maybe I'm done eating at 6 p.m. So maybe around after 6 p.m., you know, maybe 12 hours, maybe 8 to 12 hours later, that's when my blood sugar is like probably completely gone down at that point to like its baseline level. And so that's when you're feeling really hungry, like 8 to 12 hours in. But if you just ride it out for an hour, everything stabilizes. And now there's a few hours where your body is in this unfed state and you're able to burn fat because you've used all the energy up from the food you ate, right? And then now you're eating again. And so if you were to eat throughout the day, except eat smaller meals, like say eat 3 or 4 times a day, you can totally lose weight doing that. But what's going to end up happening is you're gonna get these blood sugar spikes, not spikes. You're just gonna have your blood sugar going down a little more often, right? Because when you eat breakfast, you're gonna need to eat a smaller breakfast, and because you're gonna have lunch and dinner, or maybe even snacks as well. So what you're gonna see is you're gonna feel hungry maybe throughout the day a little more, rather than having one kind of feeling hungry one time or two times. If that makes any sense. It's a little weird to explain because, like, it's counterintuitive, I think. We're so used to feeling hungry and then eating that it can be tough to remember the feeling of fasting, and that, like, you don't just get hungrier and hungrier as you don't eat. It really comes in waves as your blood sugar changes, and if you can recognize that and accept it, I think that is actually one of the biggest keys to weight loss. And again, I'm not saying intermittent fasting or any particular diet. It's recognizing what hunger is, and what that feeling of hunger is representing, what triggers it, and what it means. And I think the big thing to take away, the TLDR, would be, again, hunger doesn't mean you need to eat. It means, again, that your blood sugar is dropping and that your body is now starting to use different resources than it was before to generate energy, which is fine. That's what you want. You want to use those built up resources, whether it be, the ghrelin, or not the ghrelin, whether it be the glycogen or whatever stored throughout your body, or even when that starts to eat you stuff, even the fat, because that's what you have to do. If you want to lose weight, you have to eat the fat. You have to get your body to eat its own fat, and it's not going to do that until it's burned up the other food. So again, that's why I would advocate for intermittent fasting, at least trying it. It can definitely be hard at first, because along with all that ghrelin and all that hunger comes lethargy, headaches, just feeling angry and upset, and just feeling like crap. But I'll tell you this, you will get used to it. If you do it for a while, like a month or two, you'll honestly kind of just get used to it, and you'll feel better, as weird as it sounds, especially if you're eating good food while you're doing this. That actually really is the key. I would really not suggest mixing intermittent fasting with like a high sugar diet. I think carbs is fine. Do rice, bread, but really be careful with sugar. I would avoid, even bread's kind of problematic, but I would avoid things like ketchup, like the hidden sugars. Like outright, you can't be doing like candy, ice cream, beer. That's gonna be hard. You're gonna have a hard time with that. But be careful with the hidden sugars. A little bit's okay, but any more is not. If you're gonna do sugary stuff, definitely try to get as much fiber in as you can to compensate. Like, if you're gonna do ketchup, maybe throw in some beans, but not with barbecue sauce, like the beans without sugar, just like the plain ones, stuff like that. Because the fiber is just gonna help you feel full, and it's gonna help your digestion. Because I'm telling you, when you bring the sugar levels down, oh man. Another thing that can help is lowering your carbs. If you're trying to lose weight fast, lowering your carbs is the best way to do it, because there's just so much energy in it, right? Like in potatoes, rice, bread, etc., pasta.
Yeah,
there's just so much energy, and that energy is what's gonna keep your body from needing to burn its own fat. So that's going to be your easiest way to run a huge calorie deficit. It's going to be eat a bunch of vegetables, eat a lot of meat, get some fats in there with like oil and stuff like that, and then maybe a little bit of rice would be the best thing to do. White rice, brown rice, it doesn't matter. Just eat a little bit. Eat like in an entire day, eat like a half a cup of rice for like the whole day. I'm not even kidding around. Because that's like barely any energy, and that gives you some of the vitamins and minerals you need as well from the rice and everything. And yeah, you can do that. You can do that for a year, and you're gonna lose an absurd amount of weight, because eating like that, there's no way you're gonna be able to eat like more than 2,000 calories a day. I promise. You're eating so much protein and fiber that you're gonna feel full, And when you realize that what you're doing is like helping you lose weight too, it's going to give you this like motivation, hopefully, to keep it up. But keeping that up is hard because the food's not delicious all the time. It gets a little plain, even though like, you know, like a nice fish, if you like fish, like a nice salmon or something is nice. You can't do that every day. Salmon and chicken and, you know, stuff like that. You're going to want to have hamburger, which isn't too bad. But when you have a hamburger, right, you're going to want to do that, and cheese and mayonnaise and ketchup and mustard and blah, 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 blah. Although mustard's fine, but then you start running into, you know, you start eating on food that's like, oh, well, that's a bunch of calories, but it's not as filling as I'd like it to be, which is fine. You can totally do that. And I'll tell you this, if you are running big calorie deficits, definitely have some days here and there where when you eat like 2,500 plus calories every now and again. You got to do it. You're gonna lose your mind, especially if you're as big as I was and you like never get the chance to eat a lot of food. Oh my god, you'll lose it. You'll absolutely go crazy. Like no one is that strong. Well, maybe some people are. I'm not that kind of guy. Man, I went on and on about that. Again, I'm trying not to preach or rant, or I'm trying not to preach or like really give advice about losing weight. But that was just my experience, especially, was like eat 2 big meals, maybe a snack in between, but have that big gap, because like when you have the big gap, it really was encouraging for me, because I get really hungry like maybe once or twice, like say like 6 hours out I'd get really hungry, and then maybe like 30 minutes after I'd wake up the next day I'd get really hungry. But if you'd ride that out, it'd be like a 30-minute hunger, and then if you'd ride it out, you'd be fine. You'd feel totally cool after that. Especially because, you know, I'm so big. Like my body's like, oh yeah, look at all this food over here or something. Like it was searching. I don't know how to explain it. Of course, I mean, maybe I have the privilege of being a young male in this case as well. I feel like, you know, if you're older or if you're a woman, you know, things are a little different. Like the hormones and the way you relate to food and hunger and everything is going to be quite a bit different. So again, I mean, this was more me just recounting my experience and me trying to give you advice if you're listening. That's all I can say. So this is what, if we had just kind of gone straight here, like say from the beginning, we had just gotten off the highway and gone the fast way here, we basically would have been on roads like this the entire way. Not that that's necessarily a terrible thing. That's what we did going home. But yeah, I wanted to show it, this really long form, just super all the way there video of me just rambling and ranting and raving for an absurd amount of time. Just because I wanted to give a good idea of what like riding around here is like. I think the video and audio quality might be slightly better than what I normally get, so I think that's cool. Maybe like a little special edition here. I don't know. I may end up trying to do a little test video, or may not, with a different camera or a different audio setup or something. I'm not really sure. I always get a little paralyzed when I look at the audio recorders, but I do think I'm going to get the one, just a cheaper, I think Sony makes kind of like Sony makes a cheaper one that just uses like AA batteries, and I think that's what I'm going to do. That sounds pretty easy. I actually have a lavalier mic, which I think will be pretty nice. So if I can just plug that into the recorder and just crank the volume down probably all the way, that would be pretty cool, right? I could figure out how to, you know, maybe record the audio real well. That'd be super sweet. I'm actually kind of pumped saying it now. Now that I'm saying all this out loud, I'm a lot more excited, I think, than when I was just looking at it. Oh, there's the cop. Look at that. See, another guy. He's got to be running radar sitting like right there in that fucking dead end. Excuse my language. Man, I almost made it all the way through the video without cursing. I was close. I don't think I'm going to be editing out my coughs, guys, or cutting the audio down. No way. I wonder if I could set like a gate or something where it like clips the volume at like a lower maximum or something, where it like doesn't affect anything until it hits the red and just like doesn't allow it to get that loud. I don't know if that's a thing or not. I know, basically, for someone who does know a decent bit about control systems and stuff like that, I know almost nothing about, like, audio systems. It's, I think, quite a bit different since you're dealing with, like... I think the basic mathematical concepts are the same, but I think a lot of the more, like, practical concepts are different, if that makes any sense. Just taking in signals and processing signals and things like that. Yeah. I guess it is a little different from control systems. It doesn't matter, because sound doesn't, like, loop back around and, like, control itself. We're imagining, like, a cruise control system on a car being an example of a control system, right? That's like a big feedback loop where it's controlling itself, where the machine's controlling itself, whereas an audio control system is like the audio comes in and then it changes it and spits something out, and it doesn't necessarily feed back because they obviously, like, right, the artist is the primary driver of the sound in most cases. Anyway, yada yada yada. Are we stopping? Yeah, this might be the last light. This might be the last light. Oh yeah, look at this car. Pink, I like it. It's garish and just insanely tacky and ugly, but, like, I love it. I love how ugly it is. I love how ugly it is. Yeah, we're getting close to the end. I mean, I definitely mentioned some things here riding wise, a lot of preaching there, a lot of preaching about my weight loss stuff. I gave my opinions on the Formula One race a little bit. Definitely ranted a bit about DaVinci Resolve. A little bit. I like DaVinci Resolve. I'm having more fun using this, and I'm having more fun with Capture One. Just getting away from Adobe's been nice. I don't know what it is about Adobe I don't like, but yeah. The subscription model to me doesn't bug me. It makes sense. I mean, these pieces of software do cost a good bit of money to develop and maintain. It is true. They have to support a lot of different, graphics cards and hardware configurations, and they do all kinds of insane things. And the thing is, DaVinci's free. Like, I haven't paid any money for this. That's wild. I don't even think I need to. I don't think the paid features really are useful for someone like me. Even if I were running like an external audio recorder, I don't think it would matter. Anyway, the guy's just braking pretty hard there. We got some lights. But yeah, I mean, after all this time, I probably just need to figure out how long through the video I am. Oh yeah, I thought maybe they were gonna pull out, or they were waiting for a gap and then they would start rolling here. But I think, I even have my hazards on. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna slow down and chill. So this is getting close. I think this is like, yeah, basically Solomon's. Yeah, I'm confused here about where to go. I think I could have gone in that lane. Let me see when I get. No, I should not. So this must be the last one here. I really hope I cut this out. Yep, I did. Okay, I did.
It just has no torque.
You can see the camera frame rate too, matching up with my lights, my auxiliary lights. I guess those flash with like a duty cycle instead of just being on continuously. That's interesting. Because they're LEDs, so I figured they'd be, just on continuously. But I guess that's not how it works. When you see them with your eyes, not with a camera, they look consistent. I'm pretty sure. I might have to check that out. Huh, that's weird. That is very weird. Oh well. I don't really know what to say. Come on. Let's get there, guys. Let's get there. We gotta pee. I kinda do have to pee in real life, actually, right now. Probably get this done as soon as I hit stop. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. Having a whole cup of coffee here and not being all hydrated and stuff certainly isn't helping. Yeah, so be at Solomon's Island South, I guess, and then this loops around by the boat launching area, which is where I was before when I actually kayaked down here. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it's over here on the right. Oh yeah, there was that cop, and then we were there for like an hour, and when we left, they were still there doing something. That was funny. Yeah, that's where you like launch boats and whatnot.
Yeah, if you have a problem with bridges, you definitely have a problem with this.
Yeah, we're talking about the bridge, and getting scared going over that one. It's a little nervous, especially with a bunch of wind. It's a cool little town.
I really want to do the Bay Bridge.
If you made it all the way here, I mean, this is definitely a place worth going to. The prices for the food and drinks are nice. There's some cool restaurants, places. It's nice. It's a nice little quaint little place. You know, nothing too scenic, but like. Kind of reminds me of Key West a little bit. I don't know why, but like, it's like not as much of a party town at all, but like, it's just chill. Like, you know, it's not dirty, which is nice. You can hear me talking a little. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Who cares? Like, this is nice, you know. That guy's got a big yard. I actually don't know if that's private property or not. Maybe. Just cruising super slow. Like after seeing all those cops, I remember I was like, yo, I'm not going 30 in a 25. I'm not risking it.
Let's keep an eye out for
Ooh. I have to keep an eye out for parking. Did I walk up here? I think no, I never walked up this far. Church, that's pretty cool. All the flags. Yeah. I think this is about. Did I walk up this? Yeah, that's about where I walked to. I think. It's just nice little place. I guess this would kind of be like the main boardwalk here, and then it kind of loops, or it kind of goes down another quarter of a mile to half a mile from here, and that's it, really, the whole little town. Just a tiny little place. So I guess it's not like Key West at all. It's tiny, super tiny. This is way tinier, but. Anyways, guys, yeah, I really appreciate watching the video. If you made it this far, I mean, as always, you know, just take care and think about your riding.